He's a high-character leader that will do a great job for you, Sioux City Fire Rescue, and the city as your next fire chief.
Sioux City City Council makes it official. Sioux City Fire Rescue will have a new chief in just 4 weeks. Thanks for joining us for News 4 at 6. I'm Larry Wentz in for Matt Breen.
And I'm Jessica Bowman. Current Deputy Fire Marshal and Captain Ryan Collins is set to take over for Chief Tom Everett when he retires next month. Collins is a Sioux City native and has served with Sioux City Fire Rescue since 2006, starting as a firefighter EMT.
He joined the department's leadership team as lieutenant in 2015 and has been in his current role since 2018. Now tonight, KTIV's Katie Koppel sits down with incoming Fire Chief Ryan Collins as he prepares for his new role.
I was able to get my application in on the very last day before it closed.
On the very last day that applications were accepted for a new firefighter position at Sioux City Fire Rescue, Ryan Collins sent his in.
I was lucky enough to get hired on here in 2006, August of 2006. Loved it ever since.
A graduate of Bishop Heelan, the Sioux City native went to South Dakota State and graduated with a business degree. Then found himself living in Pierre.
I joined the volunteer fire department in Pierre and really fell in love with the camaraderie and the work.
Collins moved back home to Sioux City when he joined Sioux City Fire Rescue in 2006 and has served his hometown ever since.
Riding backwards on those engines and those trucks, you get a completely different perspective of the city that you grew up in.
Early in his career, he was part of the crew that fought one of the city's most memorable fires at Katy Station on December 27, 2006.
That was a very unique building with regards to how it was constructed, the way it was constructed.
Spending his career here at Sioux City Fire Rescue, Collins has worked in nearly every position, working his way up the ranks. So with a little bit of encouragement, he decided to apply for the position of fire chief.
It's very humbling to know that I have so many people that support me, and I couldn't get where I'm at today without the support of everyone else kind of pushing me forward and helping me along the way.
Collins currently serves as captain and as deputy fire marshal. As he prepares to move into the head office, he's excited to lead one of the best fire teams in the state.
It doesn't matter who sits at that desk. Our personnel are the backbone of this department. They're the ones that get the work done.
A big role to fill, but one Captain Collins says he's ready to embrace.
I've never been one to desire the spotlight. You know, I'm more comfortable working behind the scenes. That's going to be the biggest challenge for me is to be the face of the department, but one that I will fully embrace and enjoy doing.
In Sioux City, Katie Koppel, KTIV News 4.
And Collins will take over as fire chief August 12th. Chief Everett will stay on the department to help with the transition until his official retirement in September.
Some